What's the difference between mineral exploration and mining? There are some individuals who see them as the same thing. They are closely related, yes. One usually leads to the other happening, but it's not always the case. As usual, I have encountered a lot of inaccuracies and half truths out there on the internet, and this video is another attempt to set the record straight. Okay, so here's the difference between mineral exploration and mining, put as simply as I can. Mineral exploration is the search for an economically viable mineral deposit using things like mapping, geochemical and geophysical surveys, and drilling. Once a resource is considered economically viable, then mining happens. And mining is the extraction of those confirmed minerals. So exploration is looking for minerals that have potential, and mining is extraction of the minerals if they are deemed suitable enough economically. But I want to hasten to say that mineral exploration is incredibly risky. Most sources I have come across have said that anywhere from less than 1% to about 5% of all exploration activities eventually become a mine. But as they say, with great risk comes great reward. I want to say it again. Mineral exploration does not automatically mean mining, and it's a little frustrating when people constantly confuse the two. So in recent years, YouTube has seen a surge in AI generated content. Some of it has been helpful and informative, but unfortunately, a lot of it has also spread half truths and misleading information about Jamaica's geology, mineral history, and the mining sector. Let me be clear. This isn't an attack on creators who use AI voices or visuals. They are excellent AI based channels that share factual geoscience information. I can think of one in particular that I am subscribed to. However, not all AI content is created equal. There are several other channels that push false narratives, stories about foreign companies stealing Jamaica's copper and gold and leaving the country with nothing. And as someone who worked professionally as a geologist with the government of Jamaica for nearly a decade before I moved on to other geologically related things, I can confidently say that those claims are completely false. What's actually happening here is something called metallic mineral exploration. This is a long and structured multi-phased process that can take years, sometimes even decades, before mining is even seriously considered. So here's how metallic mineral exploration works. Some specific cases may vary slightly, but these are the very general steps. 1. Reconnaissance exploration. This is the wide area, early stage work. It involves regional geological mapping, reviewing existing literature and historical data, analyzing satellite imagery, and carrying out limited or small scale sampling. The goal is simply to identify geological environments that could host mineralization. 2. Preliminary exploration or surface exploration. So once an area looks promising, exploration becomes more focused. This stage includes closer spaced geological mapping, geochemical surveys such as soil and stream sediment sampling, and geophysical surveys like magnetic and gravity studies. And these tools help identify anomalies and narrow down specific exploration targets. 3. Target validation and initial drilling. So at this point now, drilling becomes relevant. Drilling begins. So shallow drilling methods such as reverse circulation or RC or diamond drilling are used to test targets beneath the surface. And let me elaborate here. When I say diamond drilling, I am not talking about drilling for diamonds. What I am referring to is the method. Rock is incredibly hard, so a diamond drill is one with diamond embedded bits that cut through the rock. I want to make this distinction because I remember a couple of years ago, one of the companies doing exploration work in Jamaica reported that they had finished reconnaissance work and preliminary exploration and will be moving into diamond drilling, right? Well, let me tell you, one of our local papers, I won't say which one, covered the story. And a part of the report in the newspaper said that they were drilling for diamonds. And I shared this with one of my colleagues who had a good laugh and said that someone needs to correct this article. I'm not sure if anyone acted on that, but yes, this is the kind of inaccurate information I'm talking about. Anyway, drilling leads to core samples that are collected to confirm whether mineralization is actually present and worth investigation. 4. Resource definition and geological modeling. So if results are encouraging, drilling becomes more intensive. Infill drilling is carried out to accurately define the size, the shape, grade, and the continuity of the ore body. And this data is then used to build a detailed 3D geological resource model. And then step 5 now is the economic feasibility assessment. Here the focus shifts from geology to viability. So metallurgical testing determines how the metal can become extracted, while environmental and social studies now assess potential impacts. And engineers design the mine, and economists run financial models such as preliminary economic assessments, and then full feasibility studies to evaluate whether the project makes economic sense, all of that stuff. Then 6 now is the development and production decision. So only if all the other steps check out does mining become an option. And this final stage involves securing financing, obtaining permits, constructing the mine, and ultimately beginning production. And I will try to talk about, more about the different phases in the development of a mine, from prospecting and exploration to discovery to mine development and mine closure, in a future video. So, I also want to add this. Several different exploration companies or people may be involved over several decades. And here's what I mean by that. I will use a hypothetical example. So let's say an exploration company might arrive in a hypothetical country. Let's call it country X. And this is in the 1970s. They conduct surveys, they collect samples, and then for one reason or another, perhaps limited funding or shifting priorities, they leave the country. A decade later, in the 1980s, a different company arrives, building on previous data with new expertise, equipment, and technology. Then they too might move on, and this cycle may be repeated again and again. And then you fast forward to a more modern time, and technology has evolved dramatically. We now have drones, advanced geochemical survey tools, and far more detailed geological mapping. Local expertise has also grown. There are now local geologists and companies that started out in our hypothetical country right there contributing to that kind of work. And then, that's the kind of reality for many countries. It may take decades and literally generations of different experts building on each other's work for anything to happen that remotely resembles a mine. So, to wrap this up now, I want to bring it back to the main point of the video. Mineral exploration and mining are not the same thing. Exploration is about asking questions slowly, carefully, and often at great financial risk. Mining is about extraction, and it only happens after years and sometimes decades of technical, economic, environmental, and social checks. So most exploration projects never become mines. Many end quietly, leaving behind nothing more than data, reports, and a better understanding of geology. And that doesn't mean it's a failure. That's how the science works, and responsible resource evaluation actually works. And this is why I'm concerned when I see oversimplified and sensational stories online, especially about Jamaica. Claims that minerals are being secretly taken, or the exploration automatically means that mining is about to start. It doesn't reflect reality. They ignore the long and transparent and highly regulated process that exploration really is. If there's one takeaway from this video, let it be this: understanding the difference between exploration and mining matters. It matters for public trust, for informed debate, and for how we think about our natural resources and our future, right? So as usual, thanks for watching. Please take care.